Yes, I think okay. We have a recording going, right? Yeah. So you would have seen my name there on the um at the bottom of my video there. You see my name, Shafi Ghani is my name. Um, well, I've taught high school many years ago. That is, I've taught high school maths, physics, and so on for about 12 years, I think. Then I came over to Eugene. I've been there for about 16 years now. Okay. Uh, I'm now adding up the years. Um, so as time go by, I'll get to know you a little more. First of all, I'll tell you how I'd like this to work. I don't like to be watching just names, right? I'd prefer that you put on your camera so I can see you once you have the internet and the bandwidth and so I can see you, you can see me. And that ensures that, you know, we have some kind of feedback going. You see me, I see you. You tend to concentrate more because, uh, you know, when your camera is off, sometimes people tend to, you know, they're doing their own thing and uh, they're not paying attention to the class. And really and truly, the sessions will be interactive, right? Uh, and sometimes I'll give you something to do, and you'll have to try your hand at some mathematics, some calculations, right? So yeah, I'd like to see who you are, if you can turn on your cameras. So if you know you have a class, right, you have to try to get home and um, you know, get yourself ready for the class. You're not going to benefit from the class if you're traveling and all these other things, right? You all got to get into the mode, right? That you're not studying, right? You're studying. And if you get into UG, right? You can be, no matter what you see probably on television or what you're told and so on. You can be doing your own thing and traveling and all these other things while you're studying. Mathematics in particular call for your 100, possibly 200% of your attention, your concentration. And you can't be traveling and so, right? So keep that in mind. Anyway, I can tell you this, and listen to me, I've been in this business for a very long time, right? I've studied education to that extent where I can tell you. You know, just like I say, if you're in the front seat of the class, the class, you do better than the back seater. That's a fact, right? Students who they're just doing their own thing, as I said. I remember one guy, he's driving and doing a test. I said, but if you crash and you die, forget failing the test. You crash and you die, what are you gonna say? Mr. Ghani had you doing a test while you're driving? You know, what's wrong with some people? Right? Don't drive and be in a class. Driving calls for all your senses and five more. Right? We don't have enough senses for driving the way the road is. And you're doing a test during the driving, you know, you can never really learn. Uh, you know, when you're doing your own thing and all that, people cooking, playing with children. Mathematics call for a lot of concentration, right? And you have to be involved in this process. Anyway, that's what the course outline looks like. Right? They told us we want to start with this here, right? I think there's an error here. I don't know who typed these things. Decimal currency. Well, what are they talking about? I mean the decimal system of numbers. Yeah. You can see my whiteboard once again.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Good. So
Yes, sir.
um, yeah. So my next question is there anybody in the class that still has trouble with oh, I think um, penicillin. Yeah, yeah. Looks more reasoning. Yeah. Good. So we're gonna do a review of some basic arithmetic, right? And my question to the class now is, okay, um, are there people in this class who have trouble adding, you know, um, whole numbers, um, subtracting whole numbers, right? Adding whole numbers, subtracting whole numbers, um, multiplying whole numbers, dividing whole numbers. Are we at the point where people have trouble with this?
Sir, for me personally, I don't have a problem with addition and subtraction. Is the multiplication and division part I do have problems with.
Same for me.
Who else? Who else has to say something to say? Two people in this class only?
Same, sir.
This is my advice to you. You are not going to uh, going to be teaching elementary school, at least. That's not what you're doing this course for, right? You're not going to teach elementary school students to multiply 25 multiply by 12, and you're going to put 25 sorry, how am I there? 25 multiplied by 12. And you know what do? You put a 0 here, 1 by, and then you do 2 5s 10, 2 2s 4 1. You're not doing this, right? Um, you're not doing that, right? Am I right there? Oh gosh. 250, 2, yeah. You're not going to be teaching elementary school how to do multiplication and division, right? You're not going to be doing any of these. Most of you are, okay, I should ask a question again now. How many people in this class not working?
There was a question, I didn't hear you properly.
You see, that's what I'm saying. Let me stop. I gotta stop sharing because I have to get feedback. I have to know who you are. Indicate to me how many of you are not working.
Not working currently, sir.
So the other people are working, and you are working. Are you teaching elementary school? Is that your goal, to teach in elementary school? Elementary school, I mean primary school. Is anybody in this class, their intention is to teach primary school? So one person intends to teach Oh, he took down his hand. Go ahead.
No, sir.
Anybody here? Nobody.
No, sir.
Good. My question to you now is this. If you are given some numbers to multiply, 125 by 250, what do you do? What do you do? Right
Sir,
now,
use the calculator.
you whip out your phone, right? Or calculator. Who uses calculator anyway?
Me, sir.
Calculate on the phone, sir.
That's it. You use the calculator app on your phone, right? Is there
No,
anybody
sir.
otherwise? Will you take out a piece of paper and write down 125 multiplied by 250? Is there anybody in this class who is going to do that?
No, sir.
Nobody will do that. Because gone are those days, unless, as I said, if you are going to be teaching maybe primary school children how to multiply, then that's the only time you need to know how to multiply using that method that we were doing on paper just now, right? What we do now, we make use of the technology. Similarly, division. If you have to divide 250 by 25, what will you do? What will you do? Hmm?
Sir, I'll use my phone.
Exactly. That is what you're going to do again. You're going to use the technology that is available. Gone are the days when you're going to take a piece of paper and think about your jobs there. Do you have a job where the boss man is going to walk in and say, hello, multiply 200 by 125? Get a piece of paper and do it right now. Are you on a job like that?
No, sir.
Sir,
No,
if
sir,
it's
that's different.
sir,
Uh,
I have a boss that she practically everything that she wants you to calculate, you gotta put it on paper and do it out for her.
where you work, man?
B&J.
Where you work?
B&J construction.
And you don't have your calculator with you?
Yes, but you still gotta show all the workings and stuff.
You might gotta do another course somewhere to learn how to do arithmetic on paper.
No, sir, I'm really good at arithmetic, so yeah.
In this day and age, nobody does arithmetic on paper, right? I mean, you have to write a receipt about how much PM or whatever else they use, and so you write on paper. But normally you do arithmetic with a calculator, right? Why I'm saying that, right? Why I'm saying that is that to teach you arithmetic now, right? That's a whole course by itself. There's a course by itself. You can't finish. The course outline says here, fractions, the decimal systems, directed numbers, arithmetic operation in 1 week. That's not the intention, right? This is just to review stuff that you should know, right? You cannot, all of you, that's another question. I might be embarrassing. All of you went to high school, I think. I would think most of you
Yes,
went to
sir.
high school, put it that way.
I went to high school, sir.
Yes, I want to think all of you went to high school. I cannot believe you went to so many years primary school, went to so many years high school, right? And arithmetic is puzzling us. That shouldn't happen, right? That shouldn't happen. However, as I told you, most jobs, well, somebody is telling me who. Dotson is telling me she has a strange boss, right? But the norm is that you whip out your calculator and you do your calculations. Therefore, to add You imagine. Let me just go back to my whiteboard. You imagine if I have a whole host of what do I this whiteboard? 1 second. Um, 1 second, yeah. So you have a whole host of numbers to add up, you know? And here we're not dealing with whole numbers now, right? Let's say you have a set of decimals to add up, you know? So you have to 119.25 plus 253 plus, yeah, okay, plus so let's say you have to add up all these numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers. Are you telling me what's her name? Dotson. You were gonna do this 119.25. Then you're gonna put 253.251. Then you're gonna put 1.1149. And then we're gonna do 1.1199. You tell me this is what we're doing in this day and age, and add these up. What will you normally do?
Use your phone.
Excel.
Excel? Who gone to Excel there? Excel you will use to do this?
Not really, sir. And some things you use on Excel, like if it's AutoSum in that way.
Any other ideas? Suppose you get Excel on your phone.
Calculator.
You have Excel on your phone?
No, sir, on computer.
Yeah, let's say you don't have a computer. What I'm trying to get at, and that's where I want to develop your thinking, right? You have to function in the real world, right? What is the most common tool every soul on this planet almost got? At least everybody in this class. You have a
A
cell
mobile.
phone. Half of you is in this class with a phone, right? You punch this into the calculator app on your phone. And therefore, arithmetic, unless you are going to teach elementary school, because what I'm showing you here is if you're teaching an elementary class and you want to tell people how to add up these 4 numbers, you're going to do this crazy thing, right? That is for an elementary teacher teaching a little child, right? The very basics of how to add decimal numbers. But you, as a big 20-something-year-old who works at some farm or some business or what, if your boss give you these numbers to add up, please don't do this. When are you going to finish? Next week? Right? This can be done in a matter of maybe, I would say, 1 minute in your calculator. But if you have to write all of these stuff, you want to try adding this up and let's see how long it'll take. It will take you quite a while, but if you punch it into your calculator, you're going to get the answer in maybe a minute. I say 1 minute. Right? And therefore, what I'm telling you is that arithmetic need not, you don't have to go and learn how to do it like you are in elementary school. And I say elementary from a primary school. I keep using the American term that they use. You make use of the calculator, the technology that is there, even CXE. If you were to watch the question 1, how many of you write CXE here? Indicate again. Let me see. That's why I want people, I gotta know who I'm talking to.
Yes, sir.
Good. Question 1 is usually a question that involves some arithmetic. What do they say in the question 1, the instruction? Somebody write CXE recently? What do they say? What is the instruction?
Something with solve something, or expand.
No way. They'll probably tell you using a calculator or otherwise. They'll always tell you that. Let me show you. Let me show you again what I'm talking about. Just give you an example. Going to a real CXC page. We go back a few years. Okay. CXC 24. I think they already did this page. January. Good. One second. Oh, I see CXC paper there. Look here. This is a CXC paper. Right, first question. Calculate the value of the square root of 7.1 square plus 2.9 square. And you have to give your answer to two significant figures. Now answer me a question. Can you use the basic arithmetic? Will you go and take, I mean right here. So will you go and say, all right, are you going to take, all right, 7.1 multiplied by 7.1? Because that's what that means, right? 2.9 multiplied by 2.9. This will take a day, right, to do. Then when you finish doing that, you have to add them up. And when you finish, you have to find the square root. When are you going to finish? And notice the people give you 1 mark. 1 mark to do all this work. What do they expect you to do?
Use your calculator.
Exactly. Exactly. In this day and age, you cannot do something as complex as this using basic arithmetic and, oh gosh, I shouldn't have done that.
Sir, but I must say, like, the person's, so I went to global, right? Last year through CSEC, and the teacher was explaining to me, even though you could use your calculator, you have to do the working, like it's necessary. They would look at that. So
No.
I'll look at it too.
All right. Let me just highlight something here. Let me just tell you something. You see, I did something here. 7.1 square. Let me just do that back. I erased the thing, right? You didn't have to show how you do it, as in, you don't have to show how you multiply 7.1 by 7.1. No, you just multiply, you square that, right? 7.1 square, that's what I had here. I think this plus 2.9 square should have been what? Let me see. Yeah, it was 50.41. Okay, clear. 2.9 multiplied by 2.9. Then this is 8.41, right? You add those two up, you have it there, and then you find the square root, and then you put it to two significant figures, right? Good. So you didn't need all these steps, as a matter of fact. You didn't need all these steps. Notice the people gave you 1 mark. Oh, by the way, right? This is the solution. As a matter of fact, the solution they gave you on the real paper, All right, let me just go to the actual solution, right? Give me a second. Stop sharing. Let me go to the real people. Mark scheme. That there is the actual answer they were looking for. You see it? You all are with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Good.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Showing you this is the mark scheme from CX itself. So this here, to multiply 7 by 1 square, you didn't have to show the working. You just put the answer, 50.41. Nobody cares how you got it. They know you have to use a calculator, right? 2.9 square, 8.41. You just punch it in the calculator, you write it there. To add these two, you don't have to show how you add them. You put 58.82, they know you have to use a calculator. And then, well, of course, there's no way you can calculate the square root of 58.82 without a calculator, right? They know. And that is why sometimes the instruction will say, right? The instruction will tell you that with the use of a calculator or by the use of a calculator or otherwise, they'll tell you, right? Sometimes you see that in the paper. They'll tell you by using a calculator or otherwise. Now, why would you use it? You know what, long ago, when they call you, when somebody say, boy, you're an otherwise fellow, or they say, boy, you're otherwise, you means you're unreasonable. You're not wise, right? It's just short of saying you're stupid. When you have a powerhouse of an instrument in your hand, why am I going to 7.1 by 7.1 using the elementary method? Why am I going to do 2.9 squared using the elementary method? Why am I going to add 50.41 plus 8.41? You know, we're going to write it down in the corner here. And no, we're going to use a calculator. And that's a day and age we're in, right? That's a day and age we're in. And therefore, any arithmetic you have to do, you make use of a calculator, right? You make use of a calculator. Unless, as I said, you're learning to teach, and this is not the course for it. If you're going to be learning to teach elementary school children in a little picnic, you have to go through a course where you're going to go through those finer things, right? And learn it. You need it for that. But in this course, make use of your calculator, right? Good. What we're concerned about is that will cover everything they mentioned in the course outline there about decimal numbers, directed. You all know what are directed numbers? Anybody know what are directed numbers? They use the term directed numbers. Anybody knows?
Sir, I don't
Is
know.
number with both sides and some kind of direction? Am I?
Directed numbers are integers, right? Like, okay, you have 0 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, -1, -2, -3. There could be decimals too. You can have 1.2 and -1.4. Nothing wrong. The fact that they call them directed numbers because depending on the sign, right? They will tell you where they're located with reference to the 0 on the number line, right? And that's why they call them directed numbers. Their direction, their position is determined by the sign in front of you. Negative, and if this is positive, but you know where they are on the number line, to the left or to the right, direction, to the left or to the right of 0 on the number line, right? And that brings us to a whole set of arithmetic now. How do you add, subtract, multiply, and divide them? Let's say you're dealing with this now. -1 plus 2. What do you do with these now? So let's talk about these a little. Directed numbers. So how do you add these up? Let me ask you, if I give you this question right now, what are you going to do?
Put it in my calculator and punch it in.
Calculate again, right? If you're not certain, punch it in your calculator. Do you know how to enter -1 in your calculator though?
Yes, sir.
Huh? Let me see if they have a calculator app now. This thing here. Yeah. Let me see. Calculator. Calculator app. All right. Good. So let me stop this. And share the calculator app. What? So we wanted. Are you seeing the calculator?
Yes, sir.
Good. So you
Yes,
want
sir.
-1 plus 2. So 1 negative plus 2 equal. And your answer is 1.
Positive.
So you see how you put in a negative number? You click the number, let's say -5. 5 negative plus +9 equal 4. Right? So you have to now, okay. Yeah. So even though you have the freedom of using the calculator, don't think that it will do everything for you. You have to know, how do I feed in this information inside there, right? How do I feed in that information? And there are some shortcuts. I'll send you some notes. I'll send you some notes how to do this shortcut, right? Where, all right, whenever the signs are different, like you see here, right? There's a negative sign, and then there's a positive sign. So whenever the signs are different, you find the difference of the two numbers, right? So the difference of the two numbers is 1, because the difference between 2 and 1 is 1. And the sign on the larger one, the one with the larger magnitude, which is, and that's a term you have to know, right? When you say larger magnitude, what do you mean? Right? Let me just tell you. So if you have a number, -4, and you have +1, now +1 is greater than -4. However, the magnitude of +1, and I put this over here, the magnitude of +1 is 1, but the magnitude of -4 is 4. So the one with the larger magnitude is -4. -4 has a larger magnitude. So even though +1 is greater than -4, -4 has a larger magnitude. Now, what am I talking about? Let me go to the number line. So 1 is here. -4 might be here. +1 is greater than -4 by virtue of its position on the number line. Right? Numbers that are greater than 0, right? They're greater than numbers that are, or I should say, numbers to the right of 0 is greater than numbers to the left of 0. They're greater in value. However, the magnitude of a number basically is the length of the line segment from here to here. So the magnitude of +1 is 1 unit. The magnitude of -4 is 4 units. Therefore, -4 is greater in magnitude than 1. Right? So there's a difference. The value 1 is greater than -4. Yes. But the magnitude, let me go over here, right? Let me put it back. Well, you see it here, right? 1 is greater than -4. But the magnitude of 1 is less than the magnitude of -4. Right? Keep that in mind. You need that for this sort of thing. But as I said, if you don't care about none of that and your brain isn't strong enough to remember all of that, punch the thing in the calculator. Right? Do the same here. Okay, let's go again. You want to do a subtraction maybe. -2 minus, let me go ahead and that negative. Can you feed that in a calculator? You certainly can, right? But if you don't know, you can treat these two signs as though they're multiplying one another. So you have -2. These two, a negative by a negative gives you a positive. And as I said, the two signs are different. So you find the difference. The difference between 2 and 2 is 0. No need to figure out what sign was going from there, right? But as I said, if you can remember all of that, you punch this in a calculator. Can everybody punch this in a calculator and get this answer? Try it in your phone or whatever you have there. Tell me if you're having difficulty. And that's why I want you to interact. You can't just sit down there and don't do nothing. I'm gonna call a name.
Yes, sir. We did.
I'm gonna call a name. Nikita Adams.
No difficulty, sir.
Yes,
You,
sir.
Nikita,
I am, sir.
were you able to feed -2 minus -2 into your calculator?
Yes, sir.
You saying yes?
Yes, sir.
All right. What about Christine Harry?
Yes, sir.
You were able to do that. Good. So as I said, if you don't know the rules and so, you just fall back on your calculator, right? So even though I will give you a test that is multiple choice, I'll give you, you can use your calculator, you can use the internet, you can use the world. The only thing you can do, you can correspond to your friend, and you can't get your buddy or your sister or your uncle or your mommy or your daddy around. You must do the test. Is that clear? What
Yes,
about
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
-4? Again, if you don't know that a positive by a negative gives you a negative, right? Maybe you don't know that rule, punch it in the calculator. 4 multiplied by, okay, -4 multiplied by -5. If you don't know that a negative multiplied by a negative equal to a positive, punch it in the calculator. Is the song, am I singing the song enough for you?
Yes, sir.
Good. However, when you have problems, of course, division is the same thing, right? When you have problems is this now. You will have problem if you have more than one operation coming together. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Let's say you're asked to evaluate something like this. Evaluate, all right. 6. Let's say you have this now. So everybody try it. I want everybody to try something like this. Right? I want you to try it. Tell me the answers. Or tell me the answer, sorry. I'm going to give you
12.
30 seconds.
So the answer is 12.
Okay, somebody says 12, all right. Anybody else saying anything else? One person says 12.
Sure, I said 12 also.
Anybody disagreeing with 12?
12, sir. 12.
Everybody
12.
saying 12?
No, sir.
How much you said?
12.
5?
12.
5? Somebody said 5?
12. Sir.
Hmm? Everybody says what? We had 12, we had 5.
Sorry, I said 12, not 5. 12.
Oh, everybody agree with 12. All right,
Yes,
so
sir.
somebody who
No,
said,
sir, no, sir, no, sir, no, sir. Please a minute, sir.
oh, yeah. All right, take up, let me hear.
Sir, it could be negative 24.
Negative 24. Okay, all right, let me see. Negative 24. I said negative 24.
Negative 24, sir.
Okay, so another person said negative 24. All right, all right. You got a couple 12s. Negative 24. All right. All right, let's go. Who said 12? How you get 12? Explain.
Sir, type in the calculator.
The calculator.
How you enter this in your calculator?
This is how we do.
Sir, Um,
Mhm.
I entered it in the calculator, but also I did it with the brackets, breaking down the brackets first. So if we multiply -2 times -4, we're gonna have +8, right?
All right, let me write that down. No. So you worked out this part first.
Yes,
So that'll give you 8 and then -2, right?
yes,
And then you add and then subtract.
yes,
12.
yes,
All right.
sir.
This is one way, all right. How did y'all get 24? Tell me how you get it 24 now.
Sir, first thing I did, I do the first part, which is 6 plus the -2, which is becoming 4, +4. Then I do the other side of the bracket, which is -4 subtract 2 is gonna become -6, right? So 4 times -6, I got 24, -24.
Negative 24. Good. So the question is, well, who is right, who is wrong?
Sir, I get +24.
Yes, and you get positive 24. All right. Tell me how you get positive 24.
So I got -24. Okay, so 6 plus -2 is +4.
Okay.
And the -4 is a bracket, so it's multiplying the -2
Okay.
and then you get +6. I multiply that, 6 times 4 is +24.
So you get about 6 plus the -2 gives you this 4, right? So you go in this piece here. You get 4. And what you do again now? You do now? You
The
multiply.
4, the -4 is in a bracket, so you multiply it by the -2. -4 times -2.
That will be positive 8. What are you doing with these two? You multiply them? Well, yeah, all right. So,
Sir,
you,
can I add something?
yeah.
I would say that they're wrong because every time you look in front of the bracket, if that sign is not a negative, then you can automatically change anything in the bracket. The sign remains.
Okay. Interesting idea too. All right. So I'm not going to tell you the answer here now. I'm going to come to this topic here now. This is what we'll close with. The order of arithmetic, really bite my tongue there, girl, operation. The order of arithmetic operations. Now that question we had there just now, let me just bring it back here. What was it? 6. 6 plus -2 multiplied by -4 minus 2. Right. Now, even though one might take this 6 and let's say you enter this into the calculator. I'm going to do it now. Let's see what happens. If you enter it as is, right? So 6 plus 2. What did I get negative from? Calculator app is a bomb. Good. Yeah, I'm now the right way. Good. So I'm going with 6 plus. I'm not seeing brackets here. Good. So 6 plus open bracket 2 negative close bracket multiply by bracket 4 negative close bracket minus 2. If you enter it as you see it there, right? The calculator understands the order of arithmetic operation and give you the answers 12. Right? Now, Horning? The calculator actually understands the order of arithmetic operation and gives you the answer as 12. However, if a person is to watch this and just do it from left to right, this is what they'll get. 6 plus -3 multiplied by -4. -4 multiplied by -4 is positive 16 minus 2 equal to 14. If you do it in this order, you will get 14, and that is incorrect. It's incorrect. The reason why it's incorrect is because of what I have in the heading here, the order of arithmetic operation. There are a lot of, let's call it, mnemonic, right? Mnemonics, you ever heard that word before? They have a lot of mnemonics that they use to help us remember these, right? What the B really
Yes, sir.
The B refers to brackets. So you work out brackets first, right? And what I mean, work out what's in the bracket, right? What's in the bracket you work out. If there are no operations in the bracket, well, you don't have to worry. Because sometimes you do like, okay, the question we had was this. You had, what was it? 6 plus -2, right? There's no operation in the bracket. This just tells you the sign of the number. See, there's nothing to work out here, right? So that's not what it's referring to. It's referring to if you had something like this. 6 plus 2 multiplied by 4. You work out this operation, right? So that's what the B means. The O, maybe I can put that to the top. Powers of numbers. Powers of numbers. So that's what you work out next. The problem that we just had did not have powers of numbers, right? There were no powers of numbers. Good. Next, comes division. Division. Right? So you do division next, and then you do multiplication. Now, when these two come together, you can actually do them in the order they appear, and it wouldn't matter. Let me give you an example. So let's say you have 10 multiplied by 2. Let me use a bigger number. Let me use 20 multiplied by multiply by 4 divided by 2. Let me not use 2. Let me use a horrible number. Let me go with 10. Let me go with 10. Now, by this rule, if you do division first, right? Because that's what the rule is saying. Do division first. You end up with 20 multiplied by 4 over 10, which is 2/5, right? You see? And then you get, okay, 5 1s, 5 4s, 5 4s, and you got 4 by 2 is 8. Right? But look at this. 4 divided by 10 gives you this horrible looking fraction that kind of complicates things. Now, instead of doing that, what about if we do it in the order it appears? Right? Let's do it in the order in which it appears. So let's do it. 20 multiplied by 4 is 80. 80 divided by 10 equals to 8. So you get the same answer, you see? So when division and multiplication comes together, you can actually do them in the order they appear. Right? And you'll get the same answer. So that's why sometimes you see people might have the M before the D and so, right? But usually division comes before multiplication. But whenever the two operations come together, you can do them in the order they appear. Good. Now, what about this A and the S? What do they mean now?
Addition or subtraction.
Oh, you think so? All right. Somebody says addition. So you're saying you do addition first and then subtraction. Is that what you're saying?
What happened?
Huh? Whoever is
Mr. Mark,
quiet,
we just
child
did
there,
one
please
to
mute
go
yourself
to
when
eat.
you are.
Good, that fatigue me. Good.
Alti, mute yourself when you're quarreling. Yeah. So let's take one. Let's take this one. So let's go with 10 minus 4 plus 2. What would you do here? But the rule is saying, or somebody says that the A means add, and then you subtract. So what will you do? Give me some answers for this.
Go over back that
We're
again, sir.
gonna add, sir.
I'll do the addition first, and when I get the total, then I'm gonna take it away or
Well, tell me what the answer is. Tell me your answer. Give me some answer.
Are you gonna get -2? When you do -4 and +2, you're gonna get -2. So it's gonna be 10 minus 2. And you're gonna have +8 as your answer.
Oh,
yeah. Same thing.
Anybody had a different answer? What this A means, and I think a lot of people confuse this, is that you add positive numbers first. Right? And I don't mean force as in relation to brackets and powers of and division and multiplication. I'm talking about these two operations here. Between addition and subtraction, you add positive numbers first and then subtract last. However, just like division and multiplication, when addition and subtraction comes together, you can do them in the order they appear. Because watch, if you choose to add positive numbers first, 10 plus 2 is 12, minus 4, and you get your 8. Alternatively, if you take 10, subtract 4, you get what? You get 6. 6 plus the 2 at the end gives you 8. So whether you add the positive numbers first, which is the 10 and the 2, whether you add that first and get 12, sorry, and then subtract the 4, or you do them in the order they appear, right? From left to right, you get the same answer 8. Right? So this is very important, right? This is very important. The order of arithmetic operations. Is that clear? Let me give you one or
Yes,
two.
sir.
Let me give you one or two to try. I'll just throw some random ones in, right? So, okay. Evaluate. Let me just put some random ones. Try this one. Why don't I go and show let me go with a square there. Square. Give you 1 minute.
Sir, I do it both ways and I still get the same answer.
What you have?
0.
How much? 0?
Yeah.
0, okay.
Sorry again, negative 4.5.
Okay, somebody has negative 4.5. All right. Let's wait. Sometime we hear more answers. Any more answers?
Sorry, I got positive 45.
45. All right. All kinds of answers.
Positive 45.
Okay. So 0, negative 4.5, 45. Let's remind ourselves of the order of arithmetic operation here. So the thing says,
Sir, I have 45.
all right, let's try it. So it says work out the bracket 4. So that's what we 10 square multiplied by 4 divided by. This is the operation in bracket here.
Sir, I mean see the square.
So I mean C square E.
I didn't see the square, that's why I get 0. I didn't see the square.
All right, let's do it together. So 5 and 3, 8 minus 5, right? Then they say work out powers of, right? So we're gonna go with square in the 10, so we get 100 multiply by 4 divided by 8 minus 5. So we said that when these two come together, we can do them in the order they appear. So we're going to do this whole piece in the order in which it appears, right? So 100 by 4 is 400. 400 divided by 8, right? So let me go in. All right. 400 divided by 8 minus 5. So 400 divided by 8 is how much? 50 minus 5. So we get 45, right? So we get 45 as the answer. So we follow that rule, BODMAS, right? BODMAS. All right. Let's do that one that I had in the CXC paper here. I'm not sure you remember it. Can I move this out?
Yes, sir.
Let's move it out. So the one in the CXC paper, I think they ask you to evaluate the square root of, what was it, 7.1 squared plus it was 2.9 squared. Try that one. Give your answer. Okay, evaluate that. Giving your answer to the nearest whole number. And this was the first question of the test paper this year. This whole year. 2024, yeah. That was a question in the CXCP. Anybody wrote the exam? Do you remember this question?
Sir, 7.7?
Is that a whole number? 7.7?
No, sir, no, sir. Give me
Eight.
Okay, 8.
Sir is
Alright.
8.
So it has an operation that is not in the BODMAS thing there, right? BODMAS. Right? It has an operation square root, which is not here. Right? Really, it's a power of, right? Power of here.
Sir, my answer is 4.
It really means the square root sign really means you're raising it to the power half. However, this problem, what it's really telling you is that you have to do what's underneath, right? You have to do that first. So 7.1 square is how much?
I guess 50.41.
50.41.
2.9 square is how much?
8.41.
2.9 square root, how's that?
It's the way T.
How much? Then when you add these two up,
7.669.
you're getting 50.
Master,
So I got 58.82.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. 58.82.
Good. And you square root that now.
7.669.
You get square root of what? 58.82, 7.7.
7.669.
All right, we go 6, right? But to the nearest whole number, this is approximately, you put a little correlation in here, right?
8.
Just push this a little bit. Yeah. That's approximately, you normally put a little correlation. That's approximately 8 to the nearest whole number, right? So you see what happens at CX. See, they make it even harder now where even the board master, if you don't understand it very well, you wouldn't know what to do, right? Good. So what I'll do, I'll end the class there. I have some notes on this whole arithmetic review and directed numbers and so on. I'll send it even if I don't have access to Moodle, right? I'll send it. Well, I have to get access to that WhatsApp group too. Anyway, I'll work it out to ensure that before now and Monday, you get those notes, you get the chance to read it. And then Monday, we'll try a few more of these because you'll see a few more examples and so on, right? And I'll give you an opportunity to try a couple of them, right? And then we can move ahead. You know, we don't want to move ahead and, you know, you're not clear on these things, you know. We spend a little time on fractions as well Monday before we move on, right?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Sorry, you know, and give me one more before you go.
Oh, you want to try one? All right, no problem.
Yes, sir. Please.
Let me go with one more. Oh, one second. Go with a big number. So evaluate this one. There's a square here, right? A square here, notice that.
So I got negative 110.
Okay, you're saying you have an answer already. Negative 1/10.
Yeah, 110.
Oh, negative. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sir,
100.
I get negative 62.
Okay, another number. 62, huh? Any other? Let's follow the rule, right? Remember the rule again? So we're gonna work out what's in the bracket. That's this here. 40 subtract 2. Now, what is missing here, and usually in mathematics, we don't write it. This 2 in front of this bracket really means 2 multiplied by, right? What's in the bracket. So we didn't write it there, but that's the way we write it, right? So now that we are working out and we're going to remove this bracket, we have to put the multiplication sign. So this is 5, 2, because 1 and 4 is 5, square, multiplied by 3. Right? So remember that there's a multiplication sign here, even though we don't normally write it. Good, next. So we're going to work out powers of. So we're going to square that 5. 40 minus 2 multiplied by 25 multiplied by 3. Right? Good. Next, it says, well, we did the bracket, we did powers of. There's no division, but there's a lot of multiplication. You have 2 multiplied by 25 multiplied by 3, right? So you have 40 minus all of this now. 2 multiplied by 25 is 50, right? 50 multiplied by 3 is how much? That's 150. 150.
1.
So our answer becomes 40 minus 150, which is negative 110.
Sir, the bracket is tricked me, so that's why I ended the number.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. Let's try one more. One last one. One last. 21, 25. We can go, it doesn't have to be nice whole numbers, it can be decimals and so too. 2.1 square minus 1.1. All right, I don't have to put in a bracket. Square. Plus this is a minus. Oh yeah, it's a bracket here. The bracket around the negative 4.
So there's a bracket in front of the 2 as well.
Yes, it's 3 multiplied by bracket 2 minus 4, close bracket.
Okay.
Sir, come up with 10.8.
How much you get?
10.8.
I'm not getting that clearly.
10.8.
0.8, you say?
10.8.
8? Any other answers?
Sir, not 0.8.
0.8 like that?
No, sir. 10.8.
Oh, 10.8. All right, good. 10.8. Okay, good. All right, let's see. So
Negative 10.8?
negative 9.8 is it?
10.8.
Negative 10?
Yeah, negative 10.8.
Okay, you got negative. Let's see. So we're going with
I
the
don't know
rule.
what I'm doing wrong, but I get a negative 9.8.
Okay, all right. Let's see. 9.8. All right, let's go. So we're working out what's in the bracket here. Right? So you got 2.1 squared minus 1.1 squared plus 4 minus 3. You work out what's in the bracket there is going to be 3 multiplied by 2. Well, these two negatives will become a positive. So you get 2 and 4 is 6. Right? The next we're going to work out these powers of 2.1 squared is how much? 2.1 over 2.1. So you get 4.41 minus 1.1 squared is how much? 1.1
Excuse me, sir. Before you proceed, how come you put back the negative 3 if you're using it to multiply what's in the bracket? Isn't that supposed to be this 6, the negative 6?
I don't get that. Will you say it again?
All right, so you put back the positive 4, right? And you use the negative 3 to multiply by the 2. So where you have the positive 4, when you in the second line, isn't supposed to be negative 6?
No, because the rule says you're working out what's in the bracket for. So that the bracket is 2 minus 4. So in the bracket there, that becomes 6. I am simply writing back. You bring the 4 here, this minus sign there, the 3 there, and the bracket works out to be 6. I'm following
Okay,
this,
sir.
right?
Yes, sir, yes.
No deviation. Good. So we got 4.41 minus 1.21 plus 4 minus 3 multiplied by 6. Right? So next in the, okay, we did brackets, we did powers of. There's no division. But then there's multiplication. So we're going to multiply now. 3 by 6 is 18. So you got 4.41 minus 1.21 plus 4 minus 18. Right? And we said that, okay, the next step is the problem now involves only subtraction and addition. And we said according to the rule, we can do them in the order in which they appear. So we can just work from left to right, right? So 4.41, we'll just do it in the order in which they appear, right? So 4.41 subtract 1.21 plus 4 minus 18 equal
Negative 10.8.
0.2. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't understand. I get in 10.8 and not the negative.
Well, you did up to here, you did up to here. The fact that it's
Yes,
not
sir.
a big 18 here, right? You got to get a negative. Because these are small numbers. 4.41, you take away 1 from it. You add 4, but you're subtracting a big 18. So it has to go negative.
Sir, I don't understand the 3 times 6 ending part. What going on there?
Rule says you have to multiply before you do all this subtraction and addition. The rule says,
Uh-huh.
right? So we have to, I
Yes,
know,
sir.
oh, this is at the end here. Why are we multiplying? But the rule says you have to multiply before you can add and
Uh-huh. I understand 3 by 2 is 6, and the 3 you're using back from front, or that is what subtract.
here is here, this 3 here.
Uh-huh.
2
And
minus,
that, but
we get a 6.
okay, 2 minus 4 is 6.
Minus 4, this becomes 6.
Oh, now I know, sir. I know the mistake, but I get 10.8, sir.
Yeah, you have a negative. There's a multiplication sign even though we don't write it. There's a multiplication sign there, but we don't normally write it.
Okay, sir.
Good. So yeah. In the little notes I'm going to send you, there are going to be some practice questions, right? That you can try for the next class. And in the next class, before we, go off to another topic, we're going to ensure that we clarify everything, from this class.
Sir, this recording is gonna be on the Moodle, right?
Yes, well, once I get access, I'm going to put it up. Yeah.
Okay.
Sir, it will be better if you was in the WhatsApp group and you could have sent information there, because I don't really understand the Moodle that much.
I will put it both places. I'll ask for Ms. Danella to put me on that WhatsApp group.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so I'll put it both places.
Sir, the class finished?
So we're gonna finish in a moment. Yes, I'm just So all right, let me stop the recording. Stop recording.